Chapter 14. The Witch's Brew. Irina followed Razel through the woods. The hare leapt beside the old woman's skirts, looking back from time to time, while Amicus glided above, delighted to see Irina and his old mistress together. As she walked, Razel occasionally dropped a rock from her basket to the earth and tamped it down with her foot. After walking for some time, they came to a small hut made from rows of kender saplings, bound with rope and lined with thick clay. Inside the hut, it was very dark and quiet, and fragrant with the smell of kender wood. The quiet is so deep in here, thought Irina, her eyes adjusting to the dark. It's the sound of nothing. At the foot of Razel's bed was a fireplace. A pot hung over it, suspended from a branch that lay across a small hole in the roof. On an altar lay a carved sword, a silver arrow, a handmade book, a few candles and a small painting. Razel knelt and lit a fire under the pot. Before long came the sounds of simmering and bubbling, and a strange smell filled the hut. Irina sat on a lambskin rug by the fire, while Razel dipped a wooden ladle into the pot and spooned the liquid into 2 earthenware cups. She handed Irina one, gesturing that the wolf girl should drink. It was an unusual brew, neither tea nor soup. Its dark pungency reminded Irina of tree sap, and her eyes stung at the potent taste. As she drank, the flavour grew warm and salty, and finally as sweet as honey. Afterwards, she felt stunned, and sat in motionless silence. Her arms and legs felt hot and clean, as though she'd been scrubbed on the inside. Durell suddenly came into her thoughts. She remembered the smell of his fur, the rhythm of his powerful body tearing through the woods. She remembered also the vision she had seen in the hare's eyes. "Who is the angel?" Irina asked the old woman, who was ladling the potion into stone bottles and leather jacks and stopping them with corks. Her voice still had a feral edge to it, a ragged sound left over from the wolf talk of her babyhood. At the sound of it, Razel looked at her intently. Noticing the old woman's closed lips and attentive eyes, Irina realized she was mute. Razel took a stick, sharpened it with a knife, and drew the image of the angel and the sword in the dirt floor. "Yes, yes," said Irina. "How did you know?" Razel closed her eyes, dropped to her knees and bowed her head, her hands clasped. Irina knelt uncertainly beside her. Then Razel rose, took the stick, and drew a line in the ground. At the top and the bottom she drew 2 short horizontal lines. Then she took Irina's hand and pressed it against the girl's chest. "Me," said Irina. The old woman shook her head and gestured for her to speak again. "I," said Irina. Razel nodded. Irina knew about letters. She had seen the little book of herbs that Octavia kept wrapped in a cloth. Inside were letters and drawings of plants. None of her friends among the farm children could read, so when Razel took down the book from the shelf and handed it to Irina, she felt a ripple of excitement. The book's cover was made of sturdy cloth, perhaps felt, although it was thicker than the felt Irina made with Octavia. The writing inside was black and curling and interspersed with small paintings of flowers and birds and winged creatures. As she gazed at it, Irina felt a fierce desire to understand the letters. "These all mean something, don't they?" she said to Razel. If I could understand these marks, I would understand the secret. The book would speak. The old woman nodded. They're like drawings. The mysterious symbols seemed to dance. She turned page after page until a sound from Amicus disturbed her reverie. The light through the small hole in the roof was growing dim. Sunset. I have to go, said Irina, springing up and grabbing her basket. Octavia will have been waiting for me all afternoon to make the medicines. Oh, what trouble I'll be in.